Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about the who, what, when, and how of psychic hits. So again, another quarantine vlog. Forgive the setup and the lack of production quality here. Hopefully we'll get back to some normal videos when I can get back in my studio. As you're starting to understand what your psychic abilities are and how to interpret messages, sometimes you get messages and you don't know how to interpret them. And so what I like to do is break down messages into 4 pieces. So let's talk about the who, what, when, and how of psychic hits. The who of psychic hits. So whenever you hear me referencing the who, I'm talking about, okay, when you get a psychic hit, when you get a message, who is it from? And I think this is super important because if you don't know who it's from, you don't know if that source is a good source. And so this is why I'm a huge advocate for setting your boundaries, setting your intentions, making sure that you actually know who you're talking to. So before reading, it's super important that you set the intention that you are only talking to spirit guides, or you are only talking to your higher self, or you are only talking to beings of your highest and best good. If you do not set that intention, you don't know who that message is coming from. So the who of psychic hits is very important because you want to make sure that the advice that you're getting is from a source that you can trust. What is very easy. The what of a psychic hit that I'm referring to is what is the message. So the message could be, hey, don't go do this, or hey, time to clean up, time to declutter, or hey, pursue this relationship. The message is the actual content. That is what I describe as the what of the psychic hit. What is the advice? What is the message? What is trying to be communicated? So that's the easy part. So when you're analyzing a message that you're getting, we want to also focus on the when. And so the when is, what is this message referring to? Is it referring to the past? Is it referring to the present? Or is it referring to the future? So you could be getting information about the future, which is precognition. And you could be getting information about the present, which is something that you should be doing now. Or it could be about something that's already happened. But it's super important that you know when this information is happening, because if you don't, you're not sure if this has already happened, if this is something you need to think about, or if this is something you need to do right now. So while you're doing a reading, you can ask your guides, you can stop and ask, oh, okay, what is this, when is this in reference to? Is this already happened? Is this in the future? And sometimes you'll get a pretty big gut feeling right away of, oh, this hasn't happened yet, or no, this has definitely happened. And so this is a way that you can just also get a clearer, deeper message, because you're asking the when of the message and you're able to say, no, this has already happened, or no, it hasn't happened yet. Now the how of psychic information. This is one of the biggest things I talk about. How are you receiving that psychic information? And you might not think that this is super important, but it's important to know how you're receiving that information so that you can continue to receive that in that way. Or if you don't like receiving it that way, then you can stop receiving it that way. And so how I like to refer to as the 6 clairs. And so the 6 clairs are the way in which we receive information. Now I did a whole other video on this. Definitely check it out. There's 6 clairs, and basically you receive information clairvoyantly, clairaudiently, clairsentiently, clairgustantly, clairaliently, and claircognizantly. And so those are 6 different ways that you can receive that information. And when you know how you receive psychic information better, then you understand how you can receive it again in the future, and you can understand why you're receiving it that way. And I think the more you understand the 6 clairs, the more you understand the message itself. Because then you're able to say, oh, I'm feeling this, therefore I know I'm clairsentient, versus if you're like, why am I feeling this? I don't know. Is this the spirit that's feeling this? Is this me that's feeling this? It clarifies a lot of things when you know how you're receiving that psychic information. So I'm going to give you an example of how knowing this might all be useful. So let's pretend you're strengthening your psychic ability and you're picking up a message. You're not quite sure what it is, but you just keep seeing a shower. Let's pretend that's what you see. You see a shower and you're like, I don't know what to do with this information. So instead of ignoring this information, you can go deeper with this information and try to figure out what it means. So let's start with the what. So sometimes you don't always have the what. Sometimes you can feel a spirit or a presence there, but you might not know what they want. You might not know what that message is. But simply asking, what's the message, again, then you might pick up, maybe you pick up more than just a shower. Maybe you start to feel like you see yourself showering and you're like, oh, okay, that's a little bit more information. That's a little bit more of an intuitive hit than I had before. So the message itself of, okay, there's me showering. That's the what. So let's try to dive in deeper. Let's go into the who. Who am I talking to? Now, with all of these questions, you can literally ask the energy that you're talking to. So when you're asking, hey, who am I talking to? Two things could happen. You could find out that it is a untrustworthy spirit that you don't know where they're coming from, and you can just be like, get out of here, not gonna listen to you, I don't know who you are, or if you're for my highest and best good. And then you can just ignore the message completely. Or you may find out that this is your spirit guide talking or your higher self talking, and they're like, hey, this is an important message. So when you know who is talking to you, you can decide whether that information is trustworthy or not. And then let's say you want to dive into this psychic hit a little bit more, and let's go into the when. So you want to ask your guides, okay, I'm getting an image of myself showering. When is this? Is this something that's happened already that you're trying to tell me about? Is this something that's happening in the future? And when you really focus on strengthening your psychic ability, you'll be able to get that answer back. And so you'll maybe all of a sudden feel like, you know, this has yet to happen. This is in the future. So I'm getting that it's precognitive. I'm getting that this is something that I need to do. I'm getting that the message is maybe I need to shower. I'm just making this up just to give an example. So then you have the when. You're like, okay, this clearly is not a message about something I've done. This is about something that I need to do. And then with this psychic hit, you can ask how. How am I receiving this? And you might realize that this whole time you've been seeing yourself in the shower. Or maybe you've been just like feeling that you need to get in the shower, or I don't know if that's the best example, but you might be feeling it, you might be seeing it, you might be hearing it. And really, I think the good thing there is just knowing what clair you're using, so then you can know, oh, my clairvoyance is very strong. I know I can rely on this. Or, you know, maybe if you really don't like clairvoyance, pretend the message is about something else and you're seeing something and you really don't want to be seeing things. Knowing how you're receiving it and you knowing that, oh my gosh, I'm seeing these things or I'm hearing them and I do not like that, then it's a lot easier to switch to a different clair and tell your guides, no, I don't want to receive things clairvoyantly anymore. I only want to receive things clairaudiently or something like that. And so I think knowing the how is a little bit more about strengthening your psychic development, strengthening that psychic ability so that the next time around you can get even clearer and better information. So that is the who, what, when, and how of psychic hits. I hope that that helps you guys not only figure out how to decode messages, but when you're going into readings, understanding the different types of things that are going on so that you can figure out those messages a lot clearer. Because if you don't know what all is going on and exactly how your psychic ability works, a lot of this stuff can get mixed up and it can get in your way of interpreting what the actual message is. So if you want to learn more about how to do readings on yourself and others, I have a full psychic course. It's called Basic Psychic Skills. I have it up on my Udemy channel. I'll put the link in the description below. But you can get that whole course and basically learn how to do everything that I do. I've put up everything that I've learned from the Aspen program from psychic development. All the other courses I've taken, I've sort of put them into one package for you guys so that you can learn how to be psychic. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know in the comments below if you have more questions about how the psychic ability works. I love talking about this stuff. And I hope to see how your guys' development happens in the near future. Remember, at the end of the day with these psychic hits, to trust your gut. At the end of the day, you're gonna know what's right and what's wrong. And so if you're trusting your gut, you're trusting that psychic ability.